All right, YouTube, this is it. All of you out there in the digital universe have been waiting for this, and especially on the Twitter, the anonymous people and the furry cats and the green frogs and the rest of you, you've all wanted this. So I want to set a couple things up before I mention and I say hello to my guests today. I'm sitting between two people that I consider friends, two people that I respect, two people that were brave enough to not just fight about things online and from the comforts of anonymity, but two people who were willing to sit across from each other with serious disagreements, with some bad blood there and some things being said already, but were willing to come here and talk about everything that we're going to talk about for the next hour. And to me, that already is a win for everything that's going on in the country these days, everything that's going on online these days, and everything else. Beyond that, the three of us, or you know what, I'm going to do some intros first. So of course, you guys know Candace Owens, Red Pill Black. Candace was a guest on this show just about 3 weeks ago, and I think that was one of the things that kind of put you on the map. And then literally about 4 or 5 days later, it seems that this whole explosion about what social autopsy is or what it was kind of happened. Anyway, welcome back to the Rubin Report. I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy you're hosting this.
Yeah. And to my right is Blaire White, who is a friend of mine who has been on the show a couple of times. And third time now, you have entered. That is a rare
group. Is it?
That is a rare. I think we have a couple 4-timers, but you might be the 1 3-timer right now.
We'll go for 4 next time.
We will definitely go for 4. But you are an absolutely outspoken and I think irreverent fighter against so many of the forces that I'm fighting against all the time. And both of you, I think, are fearless defenders of the things that you care about. Just a couple other quick things. I think that the three of us sitting here, if I dare use a little of identity politics against itself for a moment.
Gay, trans, black?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
A black conservative, a trans woman who really leans right. If not, do you call yourself a conservative?
Yeah, it's easiest.
Okay, so we've got a black conservative, a trans conservative, a gay liberal, but I'm an old school liberal, which is everything against identity politics these days. And I know none of us care about that stuff per se, but I think it's important just to put it out there that we're doing this, and that in and of itself is a little bit of a statement right there. Mm-hmm. And we're doing this face to face. And more importantly than anything else, perhaps, we all were lefties.
Yes.
We all were on the other side of perhaps where we're at now politically.
Yeah, it was wildly different.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, that's not that long ago. You were wildly different.
18 months ago.
18 months ago, and I've kind of had a slow evolution over these last couple years. And I think all of those things are worth saying because I think actually that there's a lot that we do agree on, and hopefully we can get to some of that. But I know you guys are watching because you want to find out more about what actually happened with Candace's website, Social Autopsy. Now, she explained this fully to me when we sat down about a month ago. And then after that, a bunch of YouTubers started making videos about her comments on it. Was some of it true? It sounds like maybe some definitions were slightly confused. I think I've talked enough. I thought the best way to start would be for you simply to just explain once again your involvement in Social Autopsy and why you did it and sort of where it's at the moment, and then we'll go from there.
Right. So I just want to start off because we just had a conversation off camera. She posted something that said my predictions that I talked about. I'm not comfortable using the she pronoun, not because it's not anything to be disrespectful. It's just that a lot of people that follow me don't know that Blaire is trans, and a lot of people that follow her maybe don't know me, vice versa. And I think that it betrays the audience when you make it sound like this is a petty catfight and there are two girls sitting across from a table, when in fact it is a grown man sitting across from a grown woman who has had a lot of things to say about me when I've never even met you or said negative comment about you. So I just want that to be very clear. Happy to, for the rest
Super
of this,
clear.
Yeah, it should be
Super
known.
clear.
We're both adults, you know, you're a grown man.
No, we're
woman.
definitely adults. I just think it's interesting how you act like you're above the ad hominems and you're above attacking someone, when in reality, you and I both know that the situation is you're using those pronouns and you're saying what you're saying, calling me a grown man.
That's not an attack, that's a fact.
Let me finish that. You're doing that in a way to be passive aggressive and petty, but in a way that your audience doesn't actually read, because you do have the very hardcore conservative audience, and so they're not really going to read it as petty. Everyone else will.
No,
though.
I don't want them to think that this is a cat fight between two girls. It's not. I'm saying
That's
that
the
you are.
dumbest thing I've ever heard
No,
in my
it's very important because
it really isn't though. But we can move on because it really isn't about how she dresses.
me and
I really
biology
don't care
think you're a
about
man. I'm happy to call you
That's
a she for the
totally
rest
fine.
so that we can move on from the pronoun thing and
right.
answer your question.
So you're
I
happy
would
to
say,
call
look,
me she, but you
look.
have to start by calling me a man. Okay, that
But
makes
I want to
even
make it
less
clear
sense.
because
That makes even
I
less
don't want to
sense.
have to afterwards say if you are this is your stance on trans, why did you sit across from a trans person and call them she? So I am making it clear because as we know, you guys like to dig up every single thing that I do and every single
How
mannerism.
have I dug up everything you've done? Out of everyone, Candace, there's been a lot of YouTubers that have come out against you. So I actually have a question before we go. Out of all the YouTubers who have dug stuff up about you, I never made a video. I'm a YouTuber. If I don't think
You
something,
jumped on a video.
I jumped on a
It was
video.
a 4-hour stream,
Which I
okay?
was on for probably 15 minutes.
An
with my
hour and
friends.
15 minutes, exactly.
I was not on a stream for an hour and 15
You were
minutes.
on for
I
an
know
hour and 15 minutes until Barbara came on the stream. I watched
I
it.
was not
and
on for an hour and 15
All right,
minutes.
so let's do this. Let's
People
just to clean this up, so we don't. I just don't want to get too lost in the weeds of every little word. I think. Look, you guys know my feelings about free speech.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to say,
Right.
how to refer to Blaire, and Blaire can obviously defend herself. We can do all that, but just so we don't get too lost in that stuff, let's just try to stick to the original
Right.
story here. I think it's fine that you premised it that way. You defended yourself. I think that's totally fine. But we could end up in the back part of this forever.
Correct.
So. Let's just get to the how did this whole thing start?
Okay, so the backstory to the backstory, obviously you know about social autopsy, but there's a very relevant part of this, which is essentially that when I was in high school, I had an experience that happened to me, and it's something that I like to talk about factually, and I hate talking about it because it involves other people, and I'm out here talking about my opinions, my beliefs. When you're involving other people, I think it's a little unfair. When I was a junior in high school, I received about... One night I was sitting on a couch with my boyfriend and I received anonymous phone calls. And at the end of watching Talladega Nights with my boyfriend, I picked up the phone, I listened to the voicemails, and they were people, 4 boys that were screaming back and forth, calling me a dirty nigger, saying we're going to tar and feather your family, saying we're going to do to you like we did to Martin Luther King, put a bullet in the back of your head, made references to Rosa Parks. It was really probably the nastiest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. After hearing that, and by the way, this is not a victim story, it's just something that factually happened that you guys can all research. After hearing those voicemails, I went to school the next day, and I didn't call the cops or anything, but I was a little terrified because I did not know 4 people that wanted to see me dead and that hated me, period. I went to school the next day, the teacher essentially we were talking in a philosophy class, I brought up what had happened. It was like a moment where it made sense to bring up what happened the night before. And the teacher jumped up and said, like, you're going to the principal right now, you're reporting this, like, that's very serious, like, I want to take you right now. He picks me up, we go into the principal's office, and she hears the voicemails, which I still had, there were 3 of them, and she made the decision to call the police. Like, totally I would have never called the police or I would have done it the night before. It turns out, by some random stroke of, like, super misfortune, that one of the kids that was in the car when they left these voicemails happened to be the current governor of Connecticut's son. And where this would have normally been like maybe like a tap on the finger sort of a thing, this turned into an FBI investigation. And you know, the then mayor was making comments that were very like, you know, political. It became political. So all of a sudden, I'm in school and I've got the NAACP on the front steps. I'm very, if you know anything about me, I hate the NAACP because of this. I think that they are a trash group and that they literally extort black people's emotions for pay, which is another thing, Blaire. You don't know where I stand on anything for you to call me a fraudulent conservative. You don't know the things that I've lived through. So that was something that I didn't really understand.
A lot of things I don't understand too, so I have a million questions for you because unfortunately you did have me blocked up until like 2 days ago over one tweet I sent to you. So
no, it was a live stream.
It was a live stream. I went on a live stream. First of all, it was not for
stream.
an hour and 15 minutes. I hope people go and fact check that because it was not on there for that long. That's the first thing. The second thing is, again, you had me blocked before the live stream. You had me blocked before the live stream. So, and you've had a million people blocked. You've blocked everyone.
Right. I'm going to get into that. I want to finish.
I know, but I'm going to finish what I was saying first. You had a million people blocked.
So that doesn't really make sense.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation because prior to this, the reason why it's actually gone to the point where I have to do on the Rubin report rather than just a quick exchange on Twitter or you making a video on your own channel is because you've blocked conversations.
So I just want to be clear. You're allowed to tweet out your trash and I am supposed to then defend myself rather than you coming to me first for answers. Just so we're clear.
You're absolutely not supposed to defend yourself. You don't have to do anything.
Right. So you're insulted that I blocked you after you insulted me publicly to what do you have 130,000? Does that even make sense to you? Like saying that right now?
Candace, you have every right to block me. there's no, you can not respond, you can block me, whatever it is. What I'm saying is, people are criticizing the way that you've handled the situation. You have the backstory, which I will absolutely let you finish, but the way you're dealing with people calling out the story and calling out things that they think maybe are fraudulent, maybe they're not fraudulent, maybe you can clear that up, is you haven't actually cleared it up. You've blocked everyone. People can attest to that, everyone. Andy Worski, Bunty King, Dave Cullen, who actually provided screenshots of things he said to you. So unlike me, I can see you blocking me for calling you trash. And honestly, I'll say I'm sorry for calling you trash. That's totally fine. But as far as him, he sent like 4 or 5 very respectful tweets, just asking you for questions, asking for your side of the story. So if he made a video, he could
I would just like to, chronologically speaking, they made the videos and then asked questions. I don't do that. I don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't get to make a video about me lying, okay,
YouTube
and then saying, now you better come to me and answer me. Who does that? That's the opposite way of handling anything.
Hold on.
It's an expression. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Don't take it to heart. It's an expression.
I'm not taking it to heart. It's just kind of silly.
All right, hold on.
It's an expression.
Hold on. We got to get the full story because otherwise there's going to be enough people watching this that still aren't clear on the full story.
Right.
That if we go too far into the follow-up, we're going to get lost here. By the way, I just really quick want to mention that when you texted me and said, I want to do this on your show and I'd like to do it with Blaire, I thought about it for a minute because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get involved in this. I think that this Twitter, YouTube drama, I think causes, it's partly, we're all here because of just this drama machine that just endlessly drags everybody. But to both of your credit, you asked me to do it and I texted you and literally within 30 seconds you said you would do it. And that's people should know that because we live in a time when no one backs themselves up. They hide and say all this crap. So I just want to put that out there. But let's just get through the story and then we can do the rest.
Long story short, this was categorized as a hate crime. The FBI was involved. I was out of school for about 6 weeks, and just imagine I didn't even want to report it, and then having what felt like your entire life. It was front page of Connecticut newspapers for 2 months of people, and a lot of the stuff that you had to read, because remember, the FBI was involved, so they wouldn't make any arrests, they wouldn't do anything because they wanted to dot their I's and cross T's. They're dealing with a politician, a Democratic politician, right? And he's not being honest. He could have easily just been like, my kid did something really stupid. He's trying to be a politician, essentially. And when these arrests were finally made, or while the investigation was going on, people were just on the internet just speculating, and not being aware that they were talking about children. You know what I'm saying? I was probably the eldest. I was 17 years old. The youngest person in that car, I didn't know any of them, by the way. This was like a drunk phone call. I knew one kid out of the 4 kids. The youngest kid in that car was 14 years old. So these kids are getting called racist. Okay? And I personally, I hate labels like racism. I hate when you call somebody racist, sexist. It really stings me because I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong that a 14-year-old got labeled a racist instead of being reprimanded or told why it was wrong. So I'm very against label. Another thing that, from my history, I've always been very conservative on. Following this event, and I barely made it to college because of this. It was something that was really taxing that happened in my senior year. And following this event, I developed severe anorexia. It's a part of my story. It's something that you need to be sorry about. People that have anorexia are just looking for a way to control. It's a control mechanism. So I felt like my life was completely out of control and people were basically able to freely say whatever they wanted about me, and it was permanently on the internet. This situation that happened, and the NAACP fighting with politicians, and nobody gave a shit about the kids that were involved in this. Nobody cared about the kids that were involved in this. I developed anorexia. I think the ringleader, they kept calling him, that had these kids call me, went on to have DUIs. He was a closeted gay at the time. Everybody's life got ruined by this. And it was something that I never wanted, and it ate me alive. It just was this is it. The internet is forever, and these things happen. You get to write about them, and you get to politicize something that's not true. When I got over my anorexia, I think I was 22 at the time. It was in 2012. I had fully, honestly, I thought through it. It was one of those things that I had to sit down and really question, where did this anorexia come from? What am I trying to control? And what have I learned from this? I thought about children. I thought to myself, technology is something that people don't talk about. I gave a TED Talk on this, which many people that have staunchly defended me have seen my TED Talks. They knew where my heart was at when I did this. I felt like kids, we are in a different generation. You're also young as well. So you have, we have Instagram, Facebook. They never had this. You when you were in school, I'm not trying to make it seem like you're a dinosaur.
Why, Candace?
Right? Why? You didn't have this. You didn't have, and there are 10-year-olds that are killing themselves over Snapchat. And it's all just because of the internet. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad had a beeper. And then all of a sudden we have Facebook and Instagram, all of these things. And I thought to myself, what a way if I can come back and create something that helps kids navigate technology, right, without ruining their lives. Like, do these kids need to be arrested for saying mean things? No, I disagree with that. Like, I disagree, even though they characterized me as the victim and characterized these children as the aggressors, I felt that it was wrong.
Okay, so you created Social Autopsy with the idea that it was sort of going to almost self-police some of the kids' ability to ruin themselves.
Right, exactly. So what we thought was, what if there was a way when kids do these like stupid things, and we initially always thought about kids. We had to change it because people said first try it on adults, try to something a little looser because people are sensitive when it comes to children. And we said, what if there was a way that we could archive what they say with like a no-no type of a punishment, like maybe it's held for 3 months, and everybody, like all of these schools, we were meeting with principals of schools, of high schools, before we even decided what we wanted to do, to say, how can we help? What would be helpful? What do kids care about? Well, they care about being on the football team, right? What if you said, you're on Social Autopsy, all these schools have this program, you said this to Carolina, whatever it is, now you don't get to try out for the football team. Something that's like petty, you know, but better than getting arrested, right? It's better than knowing that you were a part of someone's suicide because you said something mean, and because I don't think kids have the mentality, like their brains are underdeveloped. Like our brains were underdeveloped to really understand the implications of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Social Autopsy was born, okay? The web developer that I was speaking to, and I was actually at the time, remember I used to work in finance, I was talking to some potential investors, and they said, as I mentioned, start with adults. Start with adults, do something like you know, build something that we can kind of see what you're thinking of how it would work in terms of archiving things, and we'll go from there.
All right, so to be clear, and then I'm going to let you jump in, when you created this, it was basically to defend some of these kids from wrecking their lives, and schools would be able to look and maybe go, oh, you actually did have a decent track record here. You said this stupid thing, but we're not going to let that do anything. And unless I'm understanding, we have to do a little something here with definitions of words, because that what you're describing there doesn't sound to me like a doxing. A doxing website would be I'm using this site to release information about people. But you're saying basically this was going to be an archive home for schools to look at this information and sift through it. Okay.
So I think calling it an archive, I mean, it literally is an archive, but it's also a doxing website. Anytime you publish people's personal information, it is doxing.
It's not personal information.
Why not?
Because it was public.
Because it was on Facebook, that's still the definition of doxing. If you share someone else's...
No, it's not.
If you share someone...
No, it's not. You can't change the definition of doxing.
Hold on.
I actually have the definition right here.
Good.
If you share someone else's personal information without their consent, it is doxing, especially when it comes
Google
to kids.
doxes everyone?
I'll finish. Especially when it comes to kids. I mean, she's definitely playing the whole, like, wanting to protect kids thing, which I think, honestly, your heart could have very well been in the right place. But the reality is, when you aggregate information of children and you attach it to where they go to school, which was the intent of your website, in fact, you actually said that it was the best time to be on the website if you were a child because it teaches you.
Can you slow? I literally can't follow you right now.
You said that it was the best time to be on your website when you're a child because it teaches them responsibility of what they say online, right?
We said that in a video.
You said that in a video.
A single child was on there because,
I'm not saying there was.
said,
I didn't say there was.
Yeah, because we didn't want to shut off. Like if people asked questions, we didn't want to shut off the possibility of having children. If we found out this worked and this was harmless and no harm, no foul, we didn't want to come out and say we're never going to put a minor on here because again, the whole reason I thought of the idea was because of what happened to me when I was a minor.
Well, it's actually illegal to even put the child's information on there.
There was no children, so this is like a fantasy conversation right now.
It's not a fantasy conversation. It was your intent. So that's what you don't really understand. You think that because the website didn't actually come to fruition that people still don't have a right to criticize the idea of it. That's exactly what you think. But regardless, you made it very clear that your intent was to put that information on your website. It actually violates the Children's Internet Protection Act. So it was illegal. So that's why your Kickstarter was actually
all right, wait, hold on. So let's pause for a second.
There were no children on it. You're talking about...
I'm not saying that there was. I'm saying you had the intent.
This is a wild imagination you had. So you're saying that if this was your intent, like just so we're clear, we're here because if this was your intent and if it had happened, even though it didn't, right?
Candace.
That's why we're pissed and that's why we're trying to ruin everything that you are because we have decided that we are policing what could have, would have, and should have happened. Is that correct?
How have I tried to ruin it?
We're dealing in coulda, woulda, shoulda.
It's not.
It didn't happen. You're admitting it didn't happen.
Candace,
but you're talking about acts.
Are you going to let me finish?
She's literally bringing up laws right now that could have been violated, even though it wasn't violated, even though it wasn't created, because your intent is what we were criticizing. I intend to drive drunk. I don't drive drunk.
Can you let me respond?
It just makes no sense. You're not making sense.
Because
did I do it? Yes or no?
Maybe if I could finish a sentence, you'd understand that I am making sense, but if I can't actually reveal my point to you, how are you going
And it's not a dox. We need to stick with the definition of dox, because that is where things
I do want to clear up some
super
definitions.
skewed.
Like, I need to be able to finish what I'm saying is the thing. Okay, so are you telling me that it's absolutely insane and it's absolutely fantasy land for someone like you to come out and you're a staunch free speech supporter, correct? You come out and you say, I support free speech. That's something you say.
When did I say that?
You
I do, but I'm asking you what you said. You come out and you say as if that was my whole shtick, but I'm asking you, when did I say that?
I didn't say it was your whole shtick. I said that's part of who you are and what you believe is that you are in support of free speech. Do you think it's absolutely insane for someone to question someone who supports free speech?
The reason that I support free speech is
I have to finish
hold
my
on.
question. I have a lot of questions for you. You have to let me actually ask them.
Right.
Okay, so you are someone who supports free speech as part of your message as a conservative, which is a great message. Do you really think it's that crazy for people to see Red Pill Black supporting free speech and then look back a year ago and see that she tried to create a website that doxed people? And you can say it wasn't doxing, but when you publish people's information,
we're
going to
get to the bottom. That is not true. That is
categorically
false.
Let's try to clean up.
I just don't understand how it's perceived to be so insane.
First,
fantasy land.
Two questions here. First, it's important that we address doxing, and I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah, all right. So let's just one thing at a time here, because there's a lot here. So first off, we can pull up. You're welcome to pull up the definition of doxing. I think part of what's happening here is we're struggling with a couple of. So as I said, splash page, which you did forward me some emails. You guys were referring to this as a splash page the entire time.
Splash page, what she said.
Now, in essence, that may have been some confusion by your web guy. I mean, you forwarded me the whole change. So
from last February.
So
he's been calling it a splash page.
That's what her web guy was calling.
My web developer called it that.
But hold on a second.
It wasn't a splash page. A splash page is literally defined as a logo before you go into a website. You had multiple.
We were
pages
building
on
a
the website.
technology. You're not understanding this.
I'm absolutely
no, you're not.
understanding
And now you can let me finish. We were building a technology, not a website. So what he was saying is, this is a splash. This is a splash of what we were actually. We never built it. That's the whole point you're missing. When you're building a technology.
Okay. So did you not have a database of 20,000 plus people? That's what you've stated. There are two statements you said. There's a database of 20,000 plus people, and that it was a non-functioning splash page. One of those statements can be true. Which one is true?
What do you mean? It was non-functional. You're not missing a point.
I think
this is what he's trying to tell you.
Hold on.
You said there was a database.
They're getting hung up. You're getting hung up on splash page. You're not listening to the fact that he's telling you that he read the emails between me and the web developer. You're not listening to the facts.
Candace,
I'm absolutely
hang on, guys. Candace, what I think people are confused by is, regardless of the definition of splash page, if it was non-functioning, how did it in fact collect the information of 20,000 people?
Right. It didn't collect the information. If people are writing in the information, it was storing it. It was an archive.
Storing and collecting?
Hold on. So just
storing or collecting.
All right, let's just get some of this here.
You understand what I'm saying about the splash?
Yeah,
we never built the technology.
Okay,
Candace, you said there was a database, and then you said all it ever was a non-functioning splash page.
I didn't say that. I literally quoted. I did say that. You're not listening to me. Let me finish the sentence. I did say that, but you're not listening to me. My web developer, I forwarded him all the emails from February. Did you not see these?
No,
He called it a non-functioning splash page because we hadn't yet built the technology.
Okay, so
you're making it seem like I'm a liar.
And
that's what I wasn't okay with. It was something that was told to me by my web developer, and I repeated that.
If there was a database, it's not a non-functioning splash page. So are you willing to take it back that it was a non-functioning splash page?
I am more than happy to admit, and like I said to Dave.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, hold on. I think
you didn't let me say anything. You just said go ahead and go. Let me finish my statement.
Okay, then go.
I am more than happy to admit that when I stated that, I said that. I regurgitated verbatim, and he saw the emails. What my web developer called it as soon as we started. He said, because we're not building technology yet, you don't have the money to. We had to raise money to build the technology.
You said it was fully funded.
Okay, hold on.
No, it wasn't. I never said it was fully funded.
Guys, hang on a second. So, all right, I think that's an important distinction, what we just got to there. I am agreeing with you, and I think Blaire will take my word for it that I saw the emails that your web developer referred to it as a non-functioning splash page, but you're also acknowledging that that's not quite right.
Yeah, and that's
that
fine.
It did
not
actually.
Not quite right. It's directly not true.
Okay, but see, the problem with you saying it's not true is that you're making it seem like I'm a liar. I was never a liar. I said what was told to me from the very time that we started this, what my web developer called it from start to finish. I said exactly what was told to me. The issue is that you're making it seem like I intentionally lied to try to hide something. That's the problem. You don't get to call somebody a liar and a fraud-ass bitch, which is what you called me 1,000 times.
Candace.
You're a fraud-ass bitch, fraud bitch. I told you exactly what my web developer told me.
I know you love to pretend you're above the ad hominems. Meanwhile, on your Twitter right now, you called YouTubers who are criticizing you bottom feeders. You called Tree of Logic a crackhead. You called.
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
Okay, that's fine.
She said I was releasing a doxing site in 3 weeks, and she was scared for her life. That's definitely not living with the normal reality.
That is a bit foul of a rumor to spread.
It's not a rumor.
How
She
is it
just
not
said
a
I was
rumor?
using a doxing
How
site
is it
in
not
3
a rumor?
weeks.
Hold on, guys.
How are you? Who
Candace.
do you defend? That's what I don't understand.
Candace,
She's right
hold
now
on.
defending an
She can-
alt-right sympathizer that straight up said that I was releasing a doxing site in 3 weeks. That is the ground zero of this entire predicament. That she
Right, she started
spread
it, not
fear.
Richard Spencer. Not Richard Spencer, like you said.
I did
Okay,
not say
all right,
Richard. I
guys,
said
guys,
perpetuate.
guys.
Do you know the definition of perpetuate?
You
Guys,
said.
Do you know the
guys.
definition of perpetuate? Yes or no? I said he perpetuated
Candace, you said that Richard Spencer made a video on you.
I said
but
he-
he didn't.
I said
you
he-
said he made one. You said he made one. When he did,
I said he perpetuated
I have a video.
smear campaign about me.
All right, guys,
That's
guys,
exactly
guys.
what I
Candace,
said. I never
guys,
said he started
guys,
the
guys.
He
rumors
said he made
whatsoever.
a video on you, and he didn't. There's no evidence of that.
To be
he
honest,
does not have a video.
to be
up.
honest, I
He
know this
does
is
not
going
have
to
a video.
super hurt your egos, but I didn't watch a single one of your videos except for the Google Hangout for the first hour that you were on.
Candace, I didn't make a video on you. So
You jumped in a video
All right,
chat.
hold on,
like
ladies.
feed,
Live.
like
I was
own
on
it.
ladies,
It
ladies,
doesn't matter. You were
I
on it
said
for an
it. I was
hour
on
and
someone else's live.
hour and 15 minutes.
Guys.
Let's quote Blaire. She's such a mess. This is going to be like honestly intellectually like it's going to be hard to get through. She's such a mess. The fact that anyone believes her is so sad. She's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's a fraud ass bitch. No, these are not hip hop lyrics. She's such a joke. She's so stupid. This bitch thinks she's going to change everything and she's not. Especially
Should I be
after
doxxed
going
for
on
this?
InfoWars, which is ridiculous. The insults that she lodged towards InfoWars because they have a big audience and to them watching, my apologies. I have a
think
lot of
I'm
respect for
insulting them
them.
because they have a big audience?
Because let's keep it real. Where is she going to go after that? Some dumbass bitches are still believing her.
Candace.
For people that believed me, you are all dumbass bitches. She's a complete SJW and people are so dumb. By the way, this beef with her started before she ever thought about doxing because she literally says, from the second I saw her, I thought, wow, that's definitely an act. This is honestly
that's my
envy
honest
dressed
opinion.
up
All right,
as
hold on,
righteousness.
guys. You gotta give me a chance to moderate this thing. Otherwise, we're just going to be crossed up all over. the place.
Moderate.
Okay. So it sounds like to me, I'm just trying to get to facts here because I get it. We can
what I want to do.
We can do this all day,
We
and
can talk about how it was mean
look
to
at
you
every
all day.
tweet that we all sent or that everyone sent to each other and all the mean little things. And that's what everyone, all the people that I think are the bad actors in this, and all the people that just want us to relentlessly fight.
all they want.
There's nothing that's going to make them happier than to watch you two just scream at each other. So
Right.
So I am going to try to get it to something a little above that. Okay, you made the site. You made what was referred to in your documents as a non-functioning splash page.
Correct.
You are acknowledging that it did take in information,
Right.
meaning that people could submit information, but it was Facebook pages and things of that matter. You are not
Facebook pages.
denying that.
No,
So
absolutely
do you,
not denying
you
that.
accept that?
Denying what? Sorry.
That the site that was being referred to as a non-functioning splash page
Had a database.
did take information. And
Right,
you
correct.
were not denying
No,
that.
not at all.
Now, as I understand the definition of doxing, but this is, I think, where maybe we could get a little lost in the exact specifics, is that doxing would only be if that information was released, right? I don't think doxing is taking in information.
And it has to be personal information.
So
An
you're saying, well,
address,
you're just
an
saying,
address, an
the
email
problem
address,
is-
something that you could stalk and
so
harass that
just to be
person.
just to be
Problem
clear,
is when-
all the site did was take in public information.
Public
correct?
information. That's why
Okay.
they were linked. This is what was so funny, like watching this like ridiculous stream with them. Is like he's like, yeah, I know that these profiles are real because I found people on Facebook. We found the people on public. We didn't even find them. Like we didn't search for people's names. It was like publicly on Facebook. Like if you jump in on CNN's wall. And by the way, this was all for a test. This was all for a test. So even us taking those names, these weren't people that we were even going to have on a database. Period. It was just a testing phase so that we could go out to investors and get funded. That was it.
Okay, now
so
let's
here's where there's
pause for a
huge
second. I want to give you an
Here's where there's
opportunity.
a huge problem, especially saying that it was a testing phase.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of those people that were in your database were doxxed. Were actually doxxed. Again,
What do you mean they were actually doxxed? Say what doxxed means to you.
if you look at the Kiwi Farms link that people are spreading around, there are people posting in that thread, sharing their personal addresses, and yes,
That's
the information-
bullshit. There was
it's
never. I'm not going to let you do that. There was never a line for that to be included on my
No.
website. I don't care what
No,
Kiwi Farms did because they
didn't
doxed
get
me
the
too.
Listen, they didn't get the address from your website. See, if you let
So
me
then I
finish-
didn't dox them.
No, listen,
Hold on.
listen.
Let her
when
finish,
you
no.
create a digital, basically hit list of online bullies, you're enabling vigilantes to go onto there and enact doxing whatever they want to do. These people, these people's businesses were
She's now accusing me
shared-
of what Kiwi Farms did. This is crazy.
Well,
If I take a
tell me
screenshot
what
of
this
your
looks
name
like.
and your
Tell me
tweet,
what this looks like.
it's not from my website. So how
I
are
know
you
it's not from
accusing
your
me of
website.
that?
The point is, when you create an online digital hit list of online bullies,
This was done. This was done for this. This is done for this. I'm sorry. This is
that's
done
not
for this.
someone's address someone got because
Can I
that
ask you a
person was on
question?
your
What
list.
year was that
person was on
posted?
your
What year was
list.
that posted?
It was last year, the same time everything happened with your website. It was last year.
Yeah, because Zoe Quinn attacked us and started trying.
And
All right.
You're,
wait a minute, wait a
you're
minute.
missing,
So, okay,
you're missing the point. You're
Just to
missing
be
the
clear,
point.
just to be clear. So what you were
she
showing.
doxed my family on Kiwi Farms.
Okay, hang on a second. So just to be clear, what you're showing
And that
me
sucks,
here.
and that's horrible. And that's horrible.
I don't care.
But at
Honestly,
the
it wasn't
same
that
time-
serious. I think even that is being blind proportion. Nothing happened. Everybody's alive. It was just like, you know, like
Okay, but
nobody. It's been 18 months. Nothing happened. There were pictures and names. That is all you
That's
guys
not
have
pictures.
ever
All right,
been
so
able.
to be
That's
clear-
on Kiwi Farms. You're not on Social Autopsy.
Listen to me. On
Okay.
your website, pictures and names. On
Yes.
your website,
So she's
pictures and
admitting it's pictures and names. How the hell is that a
Listen.
dox? You can Google someone's name and get
Listen.
pictures. Is
So
that a
you're-
dox?
hold on, you're
Oh my
concerned.
God! My point is the intent, Candace. The point is when you
Here we
create
go.
a digital hit list of people who are online bullies, especially when it comes to a lot of the times it's conservatives and people who are on this. The reason why these people are on there, you can see their comments that they made. The reason why they're put on the website.
Okay, but you
Vigilantes then go to this website. The point is that it was a trash idea. It was an Orwellian nightmare. People went to it, abused it.
It never
and
launched.
Hold on.
I'm aware, but the information,
This is crazy.
the database was still accessible from people. That is the problem. You never officially launched it, and thank God, it never came to full fruition. However, that information was still accessible. It was abused, and these people were doxxed. People's businesses were put out
She
there.
is
People's home addresses.
Can I just ask you a question,
wait,
just
wait,
like
wait.
to play devil's
she
advocate
did, wait,
here?
just give me one sec. She did make one distinction there, which is that it wasn't your site
And that's the
that
most
did
important
the
thing.
doxing.
Okay.
So but that's
exactly.
an important.
That was never my
Okay,
argument.
but I think it's important that we at least get that out. So you're not.
I
you're
would
not,
like to
you're
play
not
devil's
claiming-
advocate. I have a question, okay? So my website had a picture and a name, and you said their intentions were clear. So if I go on Facebook right now and I look under a post under CNN, okay, and I see that a person
And
says
you see
something
a name,
that I
yeah.
don't
It's
like.
public. It's public. It's public. However,
It's not, I didn't finish my goddamn question. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
You calm down.
Calm down,
I interrupted
seriously.
you. You're cursing
Seriously,
and yelling.
calm
I interrupted
down.
you.
Calm
Okay.
down.
Okay, Candace. Okay.
Damn is the worst. You've been calling me a fraud ass bitch and all these names, but now,
And
now she's
guys.
offended by damn.
I'm sorry for that, but you're not above it because you
Okay,
called Tree a
stop.
crackhead. You called people
I genuinely think
bottom
she's on
feeders. You're not
drugs.
above it.
All right, guys.
genuinely think she's on drugs.
Honestly, I think you're
Evidence
both.
for
I
that?
actually think you're both above it.
Evidence for that?
We can get
Let me
this
finish
to a
my
place-
question. So if
we
you're
get this to a
saying
place
that the
that's a little
point is that
cleaner
people can find something, ready? Follow my train of thought. People can find something that they don't like, and they think that this person, it's a hit list. Okay, what's stopping the person from just? Why do you have to go to Social Autopsy? Just go onto Facebook and go where we got it.
Because if you look at the comments from the people who actually used your website to dox people, and again, they dox them, not you. If you listen to people commenting, they're saying this is the resource we're using. They went to you as a resource to collect names, and they dox those people based on the mean comments that they said online. That's the reason why they chose to hurt them. That's what happened.
All right, so okay.
Why not just go to
It makes
Facebook and look for
absolute
mean
sense.
comments? That's what we did.
I
Why
know.
do you need a database?
You can do that. The problem is
This is making no
it's like
sense.
She's not understanding. It's
it's like you're not
when you-
understanding.
when
It's
you-
already on Facebook.
When you
What?
create,
You're upset at the
Okay,
second
hold on,
source,
hold
not
on.
looking at the first source.
No, when you create a digital hit list of online bullies, people
You're calling it a digital hit list. You're
listen,
changing the narrative here.
People who want to take advantage of that will go to it and they will dox people, and it happened.
If they really want to do that, why
hold
don't
on,
they just go
hold
to
on,
Facebook?
hold on.
Why are you waiting for us to do
Wait,
it?
Do you admit that people were doxxed as a result of
No,
social
no, I've
autopsy?
never seen. No,
Okay.
absolutely not. I have
So
no
this
idea.
was- Really? No
Really?
one was doxxed as a result of your website.
I have no idea. You didn't bring us. You're now asking
What's
me
that?
what could have
What's that?
happened. For all I know, you put this
What's
up
that?
today.
I didn't put it. Everyone can go to Kiwi Farms then and look up. I'm sure if you Google keywords
Okay, but this,
like Candace Owens.
she's showing me something that's not my web. This is crazy to me.
Right,
This is like
okay.
I never
this is-
said it
this
was
is-
your website.
Hold on, we
You
got
said it on the top.
guys.
You said I was
guys,
doxing
guys.
people. Your
They
exact
are
words
using-
was I was doxing people. You tweeted out
They
that I
are-
doxed people.
Okay.
You
They
didn't
are
say
using
this
your
could be
website.
abused. You literally
Candace.
said that. That's
right.
not what you said in your
All
tweet.
right.
You said I doxed
That's what
people.
I'm saying now.
Was that
That's
true?
what I'm saying
Was
now.
that
They
true?
used your
Was
website.
that
Guys,
true?
guys,
To say
guys,
I doxed
guys,
people. Was that
guys.
true?
Directly, a social autopsy did not dox people.
So then
However,
say take it back.
however,
Take it back. You tweeted
created-
something that was false. Take it back.
What did I tweet exactly?
She doxes people.
No, I didn't. I said.
Yes, you did.
I directly.
Yes,
tweeted,
you did.
Listen, I directly tweeted to you. So you're proud of doxing people with a question mark, as in a question. That was your
Okay.
chance to clear it up, but
Ladies,
you blocked
ladies,
it.
No.
Ladies,
You
ladies,
literally
ladies,
jumped
ladies,
on the
ladies,
stream
ladies,
and said
ladies.
that I dox people 1,000 times, and then you clarified a couple of days on Twitter when I asked you straight up. You said all I said was that you dox people.
All right, ladies.
You have been saying I dox people. Don't backtrack. It's cool to be wrong. I just
Candace,
said
here's the
I
thing.
misused the word
Candace,
splash page.
here's the
Why
thing.
can't you say that you
Candace,
lied
here's
about
the thing.
doxing?
Candace, listen. If I misspoke and said that you directly dox people, that's incorrect. But I will say right now. Just listen. Just listen. You almost jumped. Just listen. I will say your website was used as a resource for doxers. It was, and you're looking
Okay.
directly at it.
Look.
Go back.
That's
Okay.
a
You're
big
looking
All right,
at
guys,
it.
guys,
That's a
guys,
big
you gotta,
difference. That's a
guys,
big
you gotta
difference.
Candace, what
grant
do
me a
you-
second here to.
One
You gotta
question,
grant.
please. One
yeah.
question. What do you expect, Candace, when you create a website that attaches people and their mean comments to their employers, their school, etc.? What do you think is actually going to be the result of that? People are going to call the school. People are going to call them. That's what's going to
All
happen.
right, let's pause for a second.
That's the result of the website.
Okay, so
That's
with
the
that
whole
question
point.
in mind, Okay, first off, I think she
point.
is. All right, it sounds to me, if we could just try to calm for a second, you are acknowledging that that the site itself was not doxing people,
was
but
used for
that
that
the
manner.
lists, and what you're saying is I can't control what people did with that list. Fair? All right, we got somewhere there. Okay.
But it's like saying you can't control what people do with the list, but you create.
You could just go on Facebook and find the people.
But hold on,
That's exactly what we did. There were
Candace,
screenshots of what someone said.
Candace, listen.
That's like me taking a screenshot
Candace-
of Chelsea Handler the other night saying I think about Republicans, right? And then
Candace-
holding onto my phone and then someone going, oh, people use that to dox Chelsea,
Candace.
so you're at fault. That's crazy. That literally doesn't make sense. Blaire.
There's a complete
And
difference.
it never, by the way,
There's a
let's not
complete
get lost.
difference.
So
This
what
site
is
never
that?
launched.
Yeah.
It never launched.
It never launched, but it might as well have because the information was still accessible and it was accessed.
Wait, guys,
It was
guys,
accessed.
pause,
It was
pause.
accessed. I saw like 6 or 7.
All right, all right, let's
6 or
pause for a
7
second. Let's pause for a
And
second.
all those people were hurt as a result of your website.
All right,
all of them.
let's pause for a second. You acknowledge that this was misguided now.
I've said it.
So
Every interview.
So I think that's that's an important piece here. So I don't think she's denying that another site could have grasped this information and then done the doxing. You're acknowledging that her site did not do the doxing, and she's acknowledging that it was misguided.
I've said that 1,000 times, which is why this is just a witch hunt, because I've already said that. I've already said that. And then the thing is, I'm not comfortable with you pretending that you did not put out there. All you guys said 1,000 times over was that I dox people,
Did I not just say that if I said that you directly
No.
dox people that it was incorrect? Did I not just say
Okay,
that?
she's conceding
She's
the point
allowed
there.
to be
I said
incorrect.
that.
I'm called a liar.
Okay, but
That's the difference.
she's conceding the point there. She's agreeing that you did not dox anyone.
I did not dox anyone. And you realize how harmful that is to take a narrative of something that was well intended. I realized very quickly, which is why Mike Cernovich came to my defense. I met him when this was going on. What was that?
I laughed.
Okay.
All right.
That's just honestly like it should be beneath you, but I guess it's not. That's why I met Mike Cernovich right when this was going down, when I got attacked, and I realized that the reason why I didn't want to launch this website was because I literally realized that it was going to be a tool for SJWs to attack conservatives, and we had nothing to do with politics. So when this girl, who she's for some reason defending, posted this this original smear, she said that I was launching this website and was going to turn it against conservatives, use their money, okay?
Yeah.
And like the whole reason I stopped the project was I realized that it was going to be politicized and it was going to become a weapon that I never intended.
Okay. I want to give you a chance to talk uninterrupted for a second. But do you believe her intentions there? Because I think part of this.
I said that no one who does bad things acknowledges themselves as bad. Everyone has good intentions. No one does a bad thing and really thinks before they do it. This is a bad thing to do.
But do you believe that when she had the realization that this was the wrong thing, that's a genuine realization? Because obviously when she was intending it, of course, it was intended to be good. I don't think anyone...
Probably. But I really have, I know we're getting stuck on the definition. I have so many questions I want to ask because I've been blocked for so long. There's questions I want to ask. So you stated on your Patreon, Tree of Logic was paid to lie. Do you have evidence of that?
Right, no. So
you don't have evidence?
No, I don't have evidence of it, but I 100% believe. And by the way, you kept making it seem like I was saying you were paid to lie or any of the people that you hang out with. Absolutely not.
Candace, you called it a funded misinformation
doesn't want to
campaign.
answer. Next question.
Right,
you can answer yourself.
No, I want you to finish answering that. Seriously.
You didn't because you cut me off.
Well, I'm letting you know now.
What I was saying to you was that the highly suspect thing to me was Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, for a long time, this was not my theory or my conspiracy, has been considered to be a Democratic operative. People have thought that he's working for them because he started on Wall Street, like boycotting on Wall Street as like a very liberal person. And all of a sudden, he's the leader of the White Nationalist Party. And every time he appears, he seems to be attacking Donald Trump, trying to pretend that this is the brand of Donald Trump. So this person who...
We were all liberals here. Why couldn't he be a liberal in the past? Why is that only afforded to us here?
It doesn't matter. I'm explaining to you that this isn't something that I started with Richard Spencer. This isn't my conspiracy theory. So for you trying a tinfoil and try to essentially make it gaslight me, make it seem like I was a conspiracy theorist.
Gaslighting. You made statements you can't provide evidence for. Provide evidence that Tree was paid.
You couldn't provide evidence that I was
paid.
doxing people, but you said it. My point is that, so for Richard Spencer, for this video to be online, this girl makes a crazy, insane video saying that I'm going to launch this website in 3 weeks, and I'm using conservative dollars. Absolutely nuts. It's nuts. You keep saying I think she's crazy. I think she's out of her goddamn mind. I'm being 100% honest with you. Okay? He retweets it in a matter of 24 hours. That just seems like
so I
really?
think there. All right. So before
because
we get
of a retweet.
But hold on. I think there is something interesting to that because we all discussed this before. I discussed with both of you separately beforehand. That we know sort of the rhythms of the internet and how suddenly we've all been through this, right? There's been times where people were endlessly and relentlessly and unfairly attacking you. I've been through it. You're through it now, and it goes in phases. They see someone kind of moving on up, and then everyone jumps on it.
Right.
It does seem a little odd to me, but again, I don't.
It was odd.
I always quote Carl Sagan: "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." So I can't.
But it's not.
But something seems odd to me that why would Richard Spencer
That's
get
what
involved in this?
odd. If you can't acknowledge
but I
that
have
that's
nothing.
odd.
It was retweet something. He retweeted
It's
something.
just weird to be saying
It's
about
a
someone who.
retweet.
Okay, do
So
you
to
not
go-
think
so
it's
to-
weird
so off
that
of-
somebody
hold
who
on,
has
one
a
second,
really
one second.
small following
So
was
off
able
of-
to get all the way to Richard Spencer in 24 hours? You don't think that's weird? You're just like,
Either
oh.
way, we're
He
not going
saw
to know
the
what the
video.
answer.
What
The
does
truth
that
is,
mean?
but
What?
guys, the truth is, we're not going to know the
We're
answer.
not going to know the answer to that.
There's nothing that you
We're
can
not
tell
going to
me
know the
that's
answer
going
to
to.
that. And I'm
have a
pretty
problem
sure
with
she's an
saying that
alt-right
we-
sympathizer.
I have a problem with saying we don't know the answer to that because at the end of the day, she made a direct claim and she can't prove it. So saying we don't know the answer to it, it's kind of like giving credibility to the fact that it might be a thing. It's
What's
just
interesting
not.
is that you have all these notes, but you said you didn't even watch her video, and you are co-signing. You're defending
I'm
her.
not.
She's an
Candace,
alt-right
there's a million
sympathizer.
videos
Like you're
because
sitting
I didn't
across
watch
and you're
Trees.
defending Richard Spencer and a woman that literally sounded like she was on crack cocaine, making up conspiracies
Hold on.
about me, which you basically
When-
are co-signing.
when did I defend-
And she was
No,
more upset
listen.
by the fact that I said something about Tree.
Oh my
Tree
God.
made a whole video about me. You don't have one. You didn't
Candace.
say one thing
Guys,
about
guys,
her.
I think
have
both
to
of you.
respond to this. I'm not.
But it's
I don't want- I don't
ridiculous.
want to
No, but you are a
it's
little
not.
bit of an
No, it's
alt-right
not.
sympathizer, right? Because you're
I'm
sitting
an
here.
alt-right sympathizer. Did you just say that?
I'm asking you a
just said
question.
that.
I'm asking you a question. Why
I'm
are
an
you sitting
alt-right
here? I'm
sympathizer.
asking you a question. Why are you sitting here instead of saying, you know what? Her video was way out of line and there were a lot of lies. You're not presenting any of the lies in the campaign
Candace,
that you helped
Candace,
perpetuate.
Candace,
Perpetuate being the operative word.
Candace.
Why aren't you?
All right, give her
Why
a
stop
chance, give her a
pointing at me? I
chance,
didn't
give her a
answer you. I
chance.
didn't answer you. I
Candace,
can
give her
point
a
to
chance,
whoever
give
the
her
hell
a
I want
chance.
to.
You can do it,
Give
but
her
you're
a
being
chance.
really fucking
Okay?
rude.
Like it's
Candace,
it's ridiculous.
Give her a chance. Give her a chance.
Candace. Me saying that there's contradictory, stuff going on with you saying that ad hominems are not how you win, it's low and it's childish. When you've called her a crackhead, that was me pointing that out. That was me saying that clearly, and this is where we can all find common ground, that we clearly have not all been the best. We've all used ad hominems. You refusing to answer Dave Collins' questions and then saying that she's a crackhead, so she's not worth responding to.
Right, that's how I felt.
That's you giving up the debate.
No, I
and saying she's a
genuinely
crackhead.
think she sounded like she was on drugs.
You can genuinely believe that that's
Yeah.
still an ad hominem.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. That we're none of us are above that.
Okay.
You called all the YouTubers bottom feeders. None of us are above that. We've all.
I
said
genuinely think that's why I
Okay,
didn't
you can
answer.
think
Your
that.
answer to the question of
You
why I
can
didn't
think
answer
that.
is that anybody that dedicates, especially in the sphere of what's going on in the world today, right? We've got like terrorist attacks happening, everything that's going on with the Trump presidency, the invasion that just happened over in the Middle East in terms of wrestling the prince. Anybody that dedicates 5 videos to talking about me and something that never launched, like it's just a little weird to me. It's like I have better things to do than deal with bottom feeders. I
think we
perceive
can all
them to be
agree
bottom
that we
feeders.
wish YouTubers would make better quality
Yeah, it just
videos.
fell about.
But putting that
and I
aside,
perceive these people, and this is like at no discredit to you. I understand these YouTubers are your friends.
I didn't.
You were on a video stream of me
I went
talking
live
for an
with
hour and
someone.
15 minutes.
Candace, I did not make
Calling
a video.
me a fraud,
Candace,
saying that I doxed people, and saying that it was
Candace.
gnarly of what was going to happen to children because of what I did.
Right, because you had the intention of putting
There
children
were
on
no
your
children
website.
ever. Intention, you guys look at
And
intention. Just deal with
and that-
practicality.
and
There were
that's
no
what I
children
said.
on there ever.
And is that not what I
You
said?
saw seven
Candace,
names,
is that not
period.
what I said? That it could have been used for bad things. That's what I
Well,
said.
hold
Could you
on.
imagine if we lived in coulda, woulda, shoulda land all the
right?
time?
Okay, but
It's like insane.
Oh my God.
This-
okay, but
Candace,
that
the
being said,
problem
you
is-
do acknowledge that by collecting this information, it is possible that information could have got hacked into, et cetera, even if that was not your intention.
Absolutely. I knew that
it's
it
not even possible. It was. People were docked as a result of the information
a
being
year ago.
accessible.
How come I haven't been sued?
Okay,
A year ago.
okay.
The whole thing was
How
a year
come I
ago.
haven't been sued?
You're here talking about the whole situation a year
Right,
ago.
I know.
Well-
How come I haven't been sued if these people's lives were completely ruined if it happened a year ago?
Candace, I don't know. Ask people who didn't choose to sue you. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
All right, but I think I think you're both getting some points here, and it's hard to not get lost in this person said this on this video, and we tweeted this and that whole thing. You are admitting that this was more than a splash page by the functional definition of what splash page
absolutely.
is. Okay. You are also admitting that your intent. I think you're accepting that her intentions were not to dox. That her intentions were good, right? When this thing started, or did we get that far?
I think that
Just let her answer.
I
Just
think
let her
that
answer.
as she has said, it was incredibly misguided. I think that even though, it was a third party that went and used her information to dox people. That's what happened.
Okay,
So like
and
I
you're
said,
not denying that
People were doxxed.
they were doxxed but not because
by
of
me.
what you did.
I can't apologize for that.
I would say I would argue that they were doxxed because of what she did, because they used
They
her
could have gotten it on Facebook.
Listen, yes, they could have, but at the end of the day, they didn't. They used your website as a
This is
resource.
crazy to me. This to me
Was
doesn't make
any-
any sense.
Talk
I gotta
about
be
shoulda,
honest
coulda,
with
woulda
you.
land. You're saying they
Hold
could have
on.
gotten it from Facebook. What do you mean?
Was
They
any-
used your website.
Hold on, this is, and one of you can
But
give
the
me
stuff is on Facebook. Ours is just an archive of
They
what's
would
on
have
Facebook.
never saw those people. They found it because it was on your website.
Okay, but they can also just go look at the comments. No. It's not about admitting. I've already consented to you. Okay, I've already conceded to you that they could have. Okay, absolutely gone on my website and they could have found these people. But they also
did, not could have.
They did.
They
but
did.
they also could go on Facebook and do that every single day. So you're making it seem like we
Yes,
created
but
some special thing
however,
that
the
they couldn't have access.
no.
People saying mean things in the world to
However,
figure out who their names were.
The particular people that were doxxed were on your website because of the fact that they were on your website.
Okay, but that was from Facebook. It was an archive of what was on Facebook. Do you understand
Hold
what
on,
I'm saying?
guys.
I already
exactly
exist
what
on
I'm saying.
Facebook.
Guys, we're running in circles here. We're
This
running.
doesn't make sense to
They
me.
have Facebook accounts, so that means
Yes,
We're
I
running
got it
in-
from Facebook. Of course I have Facebook accounts. I
know
got
you
it from Facebook.
I know you got it from Facebook.
Facebook is still
and
lying.
the doxers
I
got
hope
it from
you guys
your
go after
website, and the
Facebook.
doxers got it from your website.
Okay.
So I, as far as I can tell,
Okay.
what she's saying there is true. But you are acknowledging that wasn't the intention, and that you were misguided in create. I mean, it
Right.
seems to me that this whole thing.
I didn't understand internet culture when I created this at all. I wasn't on Twitter. I didn't understand that there was this culture war going on. As I said, and I know you chuckled, when I met Mike Cernovich, who was incredibly intelligent, so I have nothing bad to say about him. He perceived that this was a girl that was falling down the rabbit hole, had no idea how something that she made would have been abused, and that was the end of it. I put it to
do you
bed
accept
immediately.
her intentions there? Let's just try not to get into every tweet.
I mean, I keep saying that. Yes, I accept that the fact that she probably didn't think it was this horrible thing. It just ended up that way.
So one of the things that's confusing me, and I'll let you go first on this one. So one of the things that's confusing me a little bit is that nobody seemed to care about this whole thing for about a year.
Very interesting.
Then your profile kind of got built up a little bit, and then literally within a week of you doing this show, suddenly everybody was saying this, and I'm a little confused. Were people being doxxed?
Well, here's
before
why.
that,
Here's why.
like, do we know when those people grabbed the list and started doxing?
Yeah, that was about a year ago. All those doxes I showed you on the phone. But the reason that happened was because about a year ago, when the actual website was, she was working to make it come to fruition. There was YouTubers Chris Reagan and one other big person, but made videos about the situation, criticizing the website, criticizing her motives, and she kind of, I guess, wasn't on the radar for about a year until after that. And she came back and she was Red Pill Black, new persona. And it took a few months for people to realize, oh, that was that person we were all talking about a year ago. That's what happened. So I think the idea that this is all like some grand conspiracy theory and that Tree of Logic was paid, Richard Spencer was paid, it doesn't make any sense. This
is relevant now because these are bottom-feeding YouTubers that saw someone rising up quickly. This is envy dressed up as righteousness, period. This doesn't even make sense.
God.
Oh, later, it took them a while to click. I talked about it extensively. Every interview I do, I talk about Gamergate, I talk about the Red Pill, I talk about social autopsy. So this is all BS. As I said, this is envy dressed up as righteousness, okay? It took a year later, it never launched, and all of a sudden you're digging into people's past, and you didn't have the decency. I would have had a lot of respect for you, Blaire,
what?
if you reached out. We have someone in common. If I saw something...
No, I did.
When did you reach out to me?
I directly tweeted you. I said, do you want to do a live stream and talk about it? And you blocked me.
No.
Maybe you didn't see it.
After you called me trash, I never saw a tweet from you that said you wanted to.
Okay, well, I did. But you can't see tweets if you block someone. You can't see tweets if you block someone.
Right. Well, we can all miss tweets.
But you can't do that after you call somebody trash. My point is that they all jumped on, and it was a dogpiling. Okay, if 11 YouTubers are on the same live stream, that's a dogpile. You can't admit that's a dogpile. 11 YouTubers talking about one YouTuber.
All right.
Candace.
What is that? What is that to you?
I think both of you guys are above sort of just the general.
I'm above it. I would have never jumped on it because I genuinely, that's not the intellectual circle I'm trying to run. I would never, ever have jumped onto a live stream with 11 YouTubers to talk about you, ever.
There was two when I was on. There was two.
Okay, pause for a second. Just to clarify one thing, one person did check on the amount of minutes that Blaire was on the live stream. It was approximately 40 minutes. She joined at about 30 and left around 110. Okay.
So
all right.
I
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
You can both say you're wrong on that one.
All right, that's fine. But those aren't. I don't think those are the things that. I don't think
40 minutes is a long time to sit there talking about someone on what is a 4 hour.
It's certainly not an hour and a half. And you said about an hour and a half.
I said an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, and I said about 20 minutes, so we were both wrong about that.
All right, fair enough. And I don't think those are the things that are particularly
It doesn't
important
matter.
here. I don't think either one of you think
I mean, honestly, I have to say this.
Because you're talking about someone.
I wanted to say this the entire time. Honestly, Candace, I'm not here to hold you to your past. We all have a past. We all were different. We're all at different places politically a year ago. I'm sure we all were. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not about holding to your past. Everyone has one. It's about, honestly, the entire thing, again, out of all those YouTubers, and please don't interrupt me, out of all those YouTubers, I didn't make a video. Yes, I was live for a little while talking to people. I did not make a video. I'm a YouTuber. If I don't make a video, it's really not that important to me to make a video. That's the first thing. So I was never like that invested in this, which is why I was kind of confused why she chose me to debate when there's been a million YouTubers who have made, like I said, videos and have like, even if the facts are wrong, have laid out like facts. This is why we disagree with Candace, whatever. So again, I guess I would ask like why you picked me because.
Okay, I don't want this to go too personal, but I think that's a fair question.
So there's two reasons. A, I thought that the irony, like the dramatic irony of the situation, was irresistible. Like, I'm sitting across from a trans person who would like to be called she, and we've accepted your transition from male to female in your gender.
What does
but
that
you
have to do with anything?
You're not,
Give her a second to finish.
But that's so like what
sitting across from you, okay,
Uh-huh.
who could not accept my transition from liberal to conservative. That is like irresistibly ironic, A. B,
totally.
because I felt that the rest of those people were bottom feeders looking for hits, okay? And you have an audience, so if anything, for you to show up today, you have everything to lose, nothing to gain. You're not going to gain anything off of me. These other people who are at the bottom demanding that I go on their shows, look how many hits. Look at their YouTube pages. It's like averaging 4,000 views, and all of a sudden they're at 100,000 views. I knew exactly what it was about, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I really don't think this was ever about you guys being concerned about doxing, because the information was right there. As you said, my website never doxed a single person. I think this was always about YouTubers seeing someone rise, even in the stream, which you were there with that guy. He says, yeah, no, I don't even believe, like, how did she get to this many, how many did she get to this many subscribers? They're even talking about the way I look, all of these things. It was never about doxing people. It was honestly, to me, jealousy.
Right. Okay,
I never said either of those things, by the way. Just clear that when
you don't
watching. I never said anything about your looks. I never said anything about your subscriber
I don't think she
count.
said
No, I didn't say that.
No, I know. I'm clearing up for people watching.
You were
people
talking to the
confuse
person
things.
that was saying this.
I
You
know.
never said that.
I'm clearing that up. But so honestly, my whole thing with this has just been finding honestly amusement in the amount of lies you've told as a result of people calling you out. That's been it.
How did I lie?
Again.
You mentioned, but you've accepted already that I was told something different.
I'll tell you how you lied. I'll tell you how you lied. You lied, first of all, and said that it was Richard Spencer who made a video.
I said perpetuated.
You said made.
I said perpetuated. The word was perpetuated. That's Google.
People can look at the tweet. People can look at the tweet.
It's not a tweet. She actually said it in a video. If you go to, I believe it was your Facebook video, you might post it on Facebook, but if people can't find it there, Andy Worski did a response to it. You said verbatim, he made a video. So he didn't do that. That's one lie.
Okay.
The other lie, and you already said you can't provide evidence, is that Tree of Logic was paid.
I 100% think that she's paid. There was no way. By the way, do you not think it's a little ironic, as you're sitting here telling me that I was shady for blocking people, that this girl jumps up and makes a video about me and then blocks me? You guys, all of them have dogpiled. This is why it's about envy. This is why I know this is about envy.
Candace,
they dogpiled on me, okay, for blocking them. Meanwhile, the person that started all of this blocked me.
So this is the part of it. Look, this is the part of it, guys. I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think you guys were above this. So I think we got to figure out a way to get out of the weeds on that, because look, we can argue about whether it's right to block people. We can argue about whether they just want clicks off you, which
they do.
Right,
they want clicks. I mean, that's what it is. They're gonna all hop on a stream tonight and go over every.
She really tried hard to avoid answering this question that I asked her. Who paid Tree of Logic? Who paid Richard Spencer to retweet something?
If I say that I think something is paid, that is at my discretion. I can say I cannot present to you a fact, and you can't present to me not a fact. Okay, so we're both. I'm speculating, and you're saying it's not true. You saying it's not true could be a lie.
Okay, well,
I didn't say it wasn't true.
You can't prove it's not true, and I can't prove it's true.
Okay, you are admitting that
it's on you. It's on my opinion. You made the claim. It's on
my opinion. Well, I think you're admitting you speculated. So it's
very weird that Richard Spencer jumped into this so early, and that this person made this video, which was a complete lie, saying that. And by the way, you're not talking about any of the lies you told in that video. It's amazing to me.
Candace,
you're so hell bent on the truth and saying I'm a liar, but you're not talking about any of the lies she told.
Candace, first of all.
Do you think I'm coming off the document in 3 weeks?
First of all, Candace, no. First of all, Candace, it is completely on you if you make a claim about someone, especially something that someone was paid under the table to make a video about you. It is completely on you to provide evidence for that claim.
I think that's fair. You are admitting you are speculating on this. You don't have evidence of it. Okay, I think that's a fair point. I think she's admitting she's speculating on it. So the burden of proof is on you. It's not on her to prove it the other way. I think that's fair. I think we're basically all agreeing on that.
Yeah, so far it's like you called her a crackhead. You've said that she was paid by someone. It's like, these are just lies, and you can say that you're.
But she has told about why. If these YouTubers are really the gatekeepers of truth, why aren't they assessing the lies that this woman told? She said I was losing a site in 3 weeks. She says she doesn't think that's true. She spent time, 40 minutes to be precise, talking about all of my untruths, cherry picking every single thing that I have said about the person.
But the person,
you're defending her. You're up here defending her. So we cannot not talk about it. If all you're going to do is sit here, if all you're going to do is sit here and defend this person, then we need to talk about the fact that this person has told lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. But you don't care about any of those lies. You're going to focus on me. Why? Because I'm new.
I'll tell you why.
Because I'm new.
Because you're new.
Yeah, this is all envy, dude. This is YouTube high school drama, dude.
Candace, it's very easy to say, oh, it's because they're jealous of you. When in reality, it's much less about Tree of Logic and what she did or did not say. I didn't watch the full video. I'm sure she did say things that are incorrect. That doesn't mean some of it wasn't correct. It's much more about the fact that you're willing to tell lies about people in the wake of this happening. You saying that she was
Do you
paid,
realize the irony?
Wait,
She
you gotta pause,
doesn't.
you gotta pause. 1 second.
Candace, she could have lied and you could have lied too. Both of you guys could be liars. Both of you guys could. The fact that you said that she was paid by someone.
I didn't make a video about her trying to take down.
Just let her finish.
No, you just posted to your Patreon supporters that she was paid to make a video about you. That's a lie. It's a lie.
All right, fair enough.
Period.
And well, we don't know it's a lie, but you are admitting we are admitting that it's speculation. There is no
It
proof
was a
of it.
direct
Okay,
claim.
pause.
It was a direct
Guys.
claim. It wasn't I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't I'm
So
speculating.
out of curiosity, why do you feel the need to always point out in videos, on streams, I should say, on a stream, on a phone call, via right now sitting down, your focus has been me. Why aren't you focusing on her?
Because you're sitting across from me, Candace.
No. Initially, when you hopped and you said she doxes people, when you hopped and you jumped on this phone and called me a liar, why aren't you talking about her lies?
Candace, okay, let's go back to the live stream. In the live stream, if you watched it, you might have seen me say, I don't know Tree of Logic. I don't know if she likes my content because I had never actually watched her prior to that.
But I'm asking you a question. Why was it about me? If you're saying that all you care about is getting to the truth,
Candace, you're the topic.
But I'm the topic because of a video that the liar made.
Guys, you got to
Candace, she's not the only one who made videos.
Guys, pause. All right, here, listen. We could do this all day. I mean, literally, we could be here for the next 20 hours doing this, right?
Oh my God.
So I think we actually have made a little bit of headway here, believe it or not, because I think we've acknowledged that you you realized the error of your mistake. I think you are conceding that point, but you're also saying that being said, bad things were done with the information. You're saying you had no control of that information, and I think you feel bad that actually did happen. But this is the old you.
I mean, you're putting that in her mouth.
So wait,
she never said that.
What?
She never said she felt bad about it. You're giving it to her.
Well, okay. So I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you feel bad that
if a year ago people's were addresses?
A year ago.
You just said it was a year ago.
Let her answer.
You just said it was a year ago.
But you're trying to mitigate, make it sound like it was like a year ago.
Well, I think partly what I'm really trying not to pay attention to the nonsense on Twitter, but I think what certain people were I saw a certain level of anger with you that you showed no remorse, that even if it wasn't your intention to do this and you were misguided,
because
that
it
you
never
showed
launched.
no remorse.
And I showed no remorse because and we go back to she's already conceded the point, so I'm not trying to be a dead horse here. She was telling people that I doxed people, and that was a lie. So I showed no remorse because they were accusing me of being a doxer, and that is a very strong word, okay? And the source of that lies, as we've already talked about, was not you, okay? But was a video that, aside from saying I doxed people, said that I was like an undercover liberal that was using people for their money. Those are really nasty lies. They're nasty lies. And rather than try to build a bridge, which I recommend, by the way, any YouTubers that want hits, I would have gone on and spoken about this if anybody had approached like an individual as opposed to trashing me and then saying defend yourself.
Bunty?
It was really, I didn't know he made a video about me. I don't think he did.
But he definitely reached out to you. Andy Worski.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't make a video.
Honestly, everyone I think except for Some Black, I reached out to you and asked you.
Andy Worski never. He made videos about me and then basically said, "Come on a live stream." I'm not doing that. That's bottom feeding mentality.
But pausing that, guys.
If you write nasty things about someone and then expect them to defend themselves, that's not right.
I see plenty of people that make bad videos about me, and I could spend the rest of my life defending myself.
Yeah, it's crazy. If it's not true, it's not true. I didn't dox anybody, so I showed no remorse because you made an accusation that wasn't true. And I understand what you're saying about the potential, but if you guys always said, do you understand the potential? I've said that extensively in every single interview that it was misguided. That I can't stress that enough. It's the reason why I became red pill. I realized the evils of the internet and what people were doing to conservatives.
Okay,
that was the reason.
Do you accept that basic premise is true? That because I saw a lot of people. No. I know you've conceded that, but I've seen a lot of people say, well, now she's faking this whole conservative thing. And I had you on my show and we spent about 8 hours together after, and I don't feel that. And if you're doing it, as I said to you right before we started, you're doing a freaking hell of a job, because I think I'm a pretty good judge of character.
Here's the thing, I've definitely...
Because again, we've all had evolutions. So
why can't you accept mine?
I did.
So let her
It's just the irony of, we sit up and we do these response videos to liberals and social justice warriors, and a lot of them haven't done anything nearly as bad as creating a website that attaches people's mean words to their employers and their schools. So for that reason, I was never really prone or excited about giving you so much slack that I would believe that you were genuine. I was speculating this was just a year ago and now she's up here doing complete 180. It's possible, but it was definitely, a speculation. And again, I'm not here to hold you to your past. It's simply about the lies you've told in the past month, defending yourself, that I'm more interested in. Directly saying...
But that's complete. That is your to be honest, you're lying right now because
Lying
you
about
said
what?
because your exact words were that you didn't like me from the first time you saw me. This is before
No,
social.
I didn't. I don't think I said I didn't like you.
This is your exact words.
I definitely said, hold on. I'll just tell you what I said. It's fine. If it's wrong, you can tell me it's wrong. I definitely said that I think that I saw one of your videos pop up on Facebook like a few months before this entire thing happened, and that I read it as like someone reading your script, and I didn't particularly like you.
Yeah, you said you perceived me to be a fraud instantly. So for you to say that this is like,
I did.
don't make, so we should not make this about social justice. You had issues with me before this ever even came on.
But I don't think
kind of
okay,
broad.
guys,
Issues
but
is kind
I don't
of
think anyone
strong.
I don't think anyone watching this is watching going. The point of this whole thing is that Blaire doesn't like Candace or Candace
Yeah,
doesn't
but
like
the
Blaire.
thing is, like, to me, it's very high school nasty when someone says, "I just saw you, I didn't like you." To me, it seems, and I'm going to be honest, it seems like they're very high school. Like these YouTubers are very high school, and they see a new person. And it's about taking someone down. If you genuinely, if you're genuinely a person that cares about this movement that we're all a part of, different, definitely different sides of the spectrum. I don't think that I could ever do some of the things that you did in terms of talking about people for no reason I've never even met. But if that's generally what your interest was and you're interested in helping, why not build bridges? Like, why not reach out and say, Dave, like the respectful people, Dave, as soon as these rumors came out, reach out to me. Paul Joseph Watson, who you hammered on this stream, you talked so much trash about InfoWars and those people. That's a whole audience of people that you're just, if you're a part about this movement, why are you talking about people like they're absolute morons?
Candace.
All right, let her answer.
Candace.
Why are you calling them dumbasses?
It's not about taking you down. The reason I criticized Paul Joseph Watson was because initially he came out with a response saying that your website was from 4 years ago, and it just wasn't. But
have some respect. You know him. He gave you a platform. All you had to do, if I saw something about Dave that I wasn't sure if it was, like the way that Dave reached out to me, the way that Paul reached out to me, the way that these people reached out and asked a question first, that's just being respectful. We're all a part of the same movement. Why are you trying to break it off by like talking trash about Paul Joseph Watson, talking trash about Candace?
Here's the problem. You're very like tribalistic, and you definitely bank on this whole like groupthink thing. You've stated yourself that when we hear something about one of our own, it's very important to never become skeptics and to double down. That to me is a very
When did I say double down?
You said in your Facebook video, people can go back, you said it's important to double down, it's important to not become skeptics. You said that.
Yeah, to double down on your, what I meant by that, and let me clarify, is that one of the most beautiful things about this is that what I enjoy about this conservative movement is that it's a human to human experience again. Like it's not believing salacious headlines and being like, wait a second, let me trust my gut. I know I met this person. Like you said, I said, Candace is definitely not a fake conservative, even though this is what people are trying to tell me. I didn't perceive that. That was cool. I'm not saying that if, by the way, you do your research and you find out that this person is a fraud, that you don't go hard, but grant the courtesy of respect, but before you try to break off this movement and basically gaslight people that watch. This is a movement. Do you not feel like you're a part of a movement?
You think by me criticizing you, I do, but you think by me criticizing you, I'm breaking off a movement.
You criticize Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones, InfoWars,
Candace,
me.
I'll criticize whoever I want.
Hold on.
That's fine, but that's what I'm saying. Do you not think that there's nastiness in that before having facts?
I think there would be no such thing as journalistic integrity if everyone in this world had this mentality of, this person supports the same president as me, this person has similar ideas to me, I will never criticize them, I will never become a skeptic, and I will double down for them.
Reach out to people. That's what I'm saying to you. I have no issues, but you didn't reach out.
You're actually both agreeing on this. But guys,
you didn't reach out. You didn't say anything. You just reprinted salacious.
I reached out.
You reached out after you called me trash and said I doxed people.
Candace,
you already reprinted the salacious rumor, which was a lie.
Guys, this is the low-level part of this that gets us nowhere, right? It gets us nowhere.
I'm trying to say something positive. I'm saying that I think that you could have handled yourself better if you genuinely thought, that this person was a fraud.
It's so dumb.
But this is why, and listen, where we go from here doesn't really matter, because I think that you and I are just fundamentally different people, and I have the courtesy and respect that if somebody once gave me a platform and I perceived them to be a good person, before I go on a podcast with a bunch of people in their basement,
Steve, you're a good person.
I'm not talking about me. We had never met you. I'm talking about you jumping on, talking about InfoWars, who gave you a platform, jumping on a podcast, talking about Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones. I thought it made you a really crappy person.
So because
it was a crappy person.
So because I did a live stream with Paul Joseph Watson, that means I could never criticize him.
It's not about criticizing. It's the way you did it. If you thought that he wrote something that was untrue,
Candace,
just reach out and say, you could have been on a podcast saying, actually, I reached out to him and he told me this. You could have introduced facts, but instead you were seated like you were acting like a 13-year-old boy.
What happened was
it's drama. It's drama, dude. It's drama.
What happened was public. I read his tweets. I didn't feel like I had to reach out to him to get him to clarify. He spent the entire Twitter feed trying to clarify what he said. I understood exactly what he was saying. I went on a live stream. I criticized him. I don't owe him not criticizing.
It's not owing.
Get
the facts. Get the facts.
You're saying it's disrespectful for me to ever talk trash.
No, I'm saying it's harmful to the movement.
Guys, I'm trying to be respectful of both of you, but we gotta pull this into something that makes a little sense here.
Can I just say one thing, please?
Yes, you can say one thing, and then I gotta get this into some streamlined sense.
Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones, any amount of extra slack, any amount of an unwillingness to criticize them because I've done a live stream with one of them before.
Research isn't extra slack. It's what you should do if you consider yourself a journalist.
Candace.
Research not extra slack.
When did I ever call myself a journalist?
Research not extra. You think he was giving me extra slack when he asked me whether the docs rumors were true? That's not extra slack.
Well, look,
That's being intelligent.
Candace, Paul
actually.
Joseph actually did do the research. Paul Joseph Watson said your website was from 4 years ago.
And you also lied and said I was working for
And it
InfoWars.
wasn't.
Another lie you told. You said I heard that she's working for InfoWars. That's a lie.
How was that a lie? I said I heard that you were. I said I heard.
Oh, so you can
you were.
speculate, but I can't. Just so we're clear.
You didn't say no.
ladies,
One second, please.
Yeah, this is the last one, and then I'm taking over here.
That is a complete speculation saying I heard she's working for InfoWars. That's absolutely
And you said, and that's why Paul, you lied on him, you lied on me, you grunt when you hear my bitch. What movement are you a part of?
How is that a lie?
What movement are you a part of? I'm curious. What movement are you a part of?
Me saying.
I want to hear it. What movement are you a part of?
Let me say what I'm saying. I said I heard she's working for InfoWars, so it makes sense that Paul is defending her. Does that not make sense? That's a speculation. What you did, Tree of Logic, saying she was paid was a direct claim that was not a speculation. There's a difference.
Okay, but when
there's a difference.
Okay, when you're
so for you to say that you can speculate,
now can you answer my second question?
Okay,
What
I'm
movement
going to
are you
say
a
you
part of?
both speculated. Pause, guys, pause, please. Okay, you both speculate in different ways. No one's perfect here, and I think you did make a good point earlier that we've all acted in ways online. We don't all act with all the consistency that we all say we want to and all of those things, and okay. All the drama stuff is where we're getting lost. I think if we try to get out of this in any kind of way that makes some sense, if you basically believe her intentions and you believe her, okay, we got the intentions part, but the political evolution, do you think her political evolution, that's, a lot of people seem to be hung up on that. Do you believe that to be genuine?
I don't know. My initial judgment based on her behavior and the things she was saying was that there was probably some amount of reading off a script and saying things that people want to hear. To me, that's not important. That's
right. And I'm sure people have said that about you, and I'm sure they've said it about me. So
absolutely, and I'm free to say that. My problem is when you make direct claims about people being paid to make videos.
She's defending the person that made direct claims that were lies.
Okay,
so we're clear.
Guys, we can't go back to that.
You're saying I'm defending it when in reality it's more about
do a video on her and her lies.
No, I didn't care enough to do about on you. Why would I do it on Tree of Logic? It's not about her. It's about your statements and the way that you've acted in reacting to everyone calling you out. It's that you've told a million lies. Your lies that this was a deep web conspiracy.
A million lies. You've told a million lies.
Saying that it was a deep web conspiracy when in reality you even admitted here.
I wrote it's a deep web conspiracy.
You said a deep web conspiracy was what this was. When in reality you've actually admitted during this interview that it originated.
Deep web. I consider Kiwi Farms pretty deep web.
Hold on. But you
nobody knows
hold on.
Deep web is Kiwi Farms.
First of all, it's not deep web. Second of all, you admitted in the stream that this whole thing originated from Tree of Logic. So is YouTube the deep web?
Do you not realize the irony of you defending the person that originally started these lies?
You're focused on me defending her.
But it's important because you're calling me. Yes, it is.
I'm focusing on your words.
You're trying to pretend that you're righteous and that everything you did to me was an act of righteousness when you're acknowledging that where you got your information was fundamentally a lie.
Guys, pause.
Tree, I'm focusing on your words.
My name is not Tree.
I mean, sorry. I'm focusing on your words. I'm not focusing on her. It's the fact that you said it's a deep web conspiracy. However, you also stated that it originated from her. YouTube is not the deep web. So to me, to me, more than anything, I've just found.
But you're saying people were doxed on Kiwi Farms. That's a deep web. Who was looking at Kiwi Farms for information?
We both
on
agreed
people?
that it originated, this entire controversy, people calling you out, originated from Tree of Logic, right? She was the first video.
But saying that I doxed people, you said you got that from Kiwi Farms, which is the deep web.
Candace, you stated that this entire controversy, people calling you out, was a deep web conspiracy. That's what you said in your Facebook video. People can go back to it.
That's fine. What I'm saying
however, you're sitting across from me saying that it originated from Tree of Logic, who is a YouTuber. YouTube is not the deep web. So my point about that is I've found humor in the amount of deflections that she's done, trying to make it seem like it's so crazy that it's a deep web conspiracy and people were paid and it's this huge conspiracy against her, because that makes people less likely to believe it. You've intentionally done that.
All right, guys, grant me the respect here. Grant me the respect.
Guys, this is crazy. We're talking about something that never launched. This whole thing is crazy. This whole thing is crazy. This is just a bunch of jealous YouTubers that were looking to take somebody down. I hate to tell you this, I'm going nowhere. So if you don't like my face, if you guys don't like the way I talk, if you find my videos, you don't like my videos and they're fake, you're gonna have to stomach it. I advise you to block me because I'm not going anywhere.
Guys, I need you both to grant me the respect of having you in here to try to get some sense out of this thing. I get it. We're raw here. I get it, but you got to do it. Okay, we can either do there's two things happening here. One is the facts of what happened that caused this whole thing to happen, right? One are the facts. and then one is everything else of all the behavior that everyone has done, and whether you speculated or you misspoke on this or whatever. But I actually don't think that if there's any adults listening to this, and not just the people that want us to hate each other, I don't think they care about any of that stuff. That's my particular opinion. I'll let you respond to that and then just pause for a second. Do you think that's fair? Like, I just think there's two things going on here. There's the fact of what Candace is and what she has done, and if we can get to a truth about what social autopsy was. And then there's just the rest of it that, as you said, and I give you credit for sitting here because you weren't one of the people that felt that this was something that you had to make videos and all that. So you're sort of here by proxy in an odd way, but you had the desire to do it.
I mean, not the desire. I just knew that, like, if I had said, like, I don't really care about this, it would be Candace tweeting that I ran. I knew that would happen,
Okay.
so I didn't do that. But I will say, again, what I've cared the most about, and when I say care, it's like I found humor in it. So I haven't cared that much. It's been me looking at the way that you've lied and you've deflected and the things that you've completely made up out of thin air that has been humorous to me that I've talked about.
But
that's the case.
She lied.
Wait,
She's admitting
okay.
she's already
So guys,
the biggest part of this piece, the biggest thing to me, you talk about the biggest thing to you, the biggest thing to me is that the entire thing was predicated on a lie, which you helped perpetuate to 130,000 people that I dox people. You've already conceded the point that I don't dox people. You're saying that what you made was used to dox people on a website that you have nothing to do with, okay? That was my thing that pissed me the most off, and you're already making that's not true. So you're more concerned with how I responded to the lie. I'm talking about the initial.
Lies about me too.
Yeah, but you completely lied by saying I dox people.
Guys, that's why I'm trying to separate. That's why I'm trying to separate. That's why I'm trying to separate two things here.
I thought I did about 5 times.
You didn't. What I'm saying is that you keep pretending that this is about me lying, but the biggest lie, the reason we're here, right, is because there was a claim that caught fire that I personally dox people, and that affects my integrity. Okay, people were talking about that, thinking that that was actually valid. People were tweeting at the sound of light to you, people that I work with, and everyone reached out because, again, those people are more they have a better professional reputation than some of these bottom-feeding YouTubers to get to the bottom of it. And I've had to clarify over and over again that I never dox anybody. So it's a big deal that you can just backtrack now and say, okay, that part was a lie, but what's more interesting is how you responded. No, Candace, only point I want to drive home is I have never doxed a person in my entire life, and I have said that, and I'm standing by that, and I'm happy that you conceded that point.
And I'll say this.
I apologize for using the word splash page. You are correct. You are 100% correct about that. But I Googled that after I stated that, and I literally showed him the email where someone told me that a year ago. I literally was repeating what was told to me. It was never an intention to lie.
Question about that then. Why did you wait until the Rubin report, weeks after all of this, to say that you made a mistake saying it was splash page?
Okay, because after I said it, you can't. Come on, the internet. After you say something, you guys have already jumped on. Everyone was saying, liar, 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 splash page, splash page. The only way that I could have actually clarified that with some integrity was to forward the emails. If I said, oh, here's a screenshot of the email, they would have said it was doctored. Really. The conspiracies were getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and I understand that you were a part of that.
You didn't, when you were on my show, you didn't realize when you said the splash, you hadn't even realized that, right?
I didn't know. No, I had no idea. I said something and I retweeted it after because I still thought, I perceived it to be true. Yeah. It was told to me by a web developer who went to school for web design, and I think that he was referring to it was a splash of the technologies. And, but like, it was something that you called me a liar on.
How can you blame people for thinking it was a lie when you wait weeks?
I didn't blame them.
Clarify.
I didn't blame them. I answered your question. I didn't blame them. I said it wasn't a lie, and I waited to clarify it. That's it. I answered your question.
And so you understand how people can perceive that as a lie? When
yes.
Okay. That's fine.
I understand. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is semantics. I genuinely thought a totally different word meant something else because it's what was told to me, and he saw the emails. So when I'm getting called a liar and then being triple attacked, and it's a dog and it's a pylon, the only way that I can come forward with the truth is on my own terms, and I'm going to show him the emails that I never lied.
But did you really think, like as you said, the web developer said it first, but you repeated it saying it was a non-functioning splash page. Did you really think the whole website was non-functioning?
I 110%. This is it's like one email. We built something, okay? There's probably 100 emails. He was like, phase 1, splash page. People will be able to include some things, whatever. But we haven't built technology where you could actually pull it from Facebook. Because what we were trying to build was for Facebook to be able to talk to social autopsy, so nobody had to fill in the names. We could just verify instantly from the profile. Yeah, it was an archive. So when he said it was a splash, it's a splash, we haven't built it, you don't have the money to build the entire thing out. I thought that was true. I held that as a truth in my head for a full year. It's not like, for 18 months. It's not like this was new and I was like, oh, what does this mean? He emailed that to me in February of 2016. So I just thought it was true. I never questioned it because he's a web developer. Would you question a web developer if they said this is what we're doing? Like,
I personally would have probably known that if someone called it a non-functioning. I mean, I know.
Great for you. I know.
I think you're conceding a little naivete perhaps on your part, or just not understanding phrases,
By the way,
which you probably would understand
Before I
better.
forget, because this is a little bit off of the direct topic, I do want to address a lie Candace told me about maybe 2 or 3 days ago on Twitter. You said that I made an autistic girl cry on YouTube. That I was in a live stream, made an autistic girl cry. That girl has come out and said that she's not autistic.
Right. So I love this because how does it feel when people take hearsay and perpetuate it as the truth? You were so angry that I did that. I literally did this as an experiment because I knew you were going to bring it up. Okay? You were so angry. No, I was told she was autistic. No. I was told she was autistic by
who?
A bunch of YouTubers have a strong dislike for you and your little gang of YouTubers that take people out. Like that's what you guys do. You talk about people, you get in.
What
You're
about
in the
doing
same
your
group.
research that you slammed me for earlier?
In the same group of people. So if this is what was being told to me, I'm not going to call anybody out. Like I'll fall on the sword or whatever. It was told to me.
Doing your research?
It was told to me, okay, by about 7 YouTubers, and it is a pretty terrible. Whether the person is autistic, she's out with depression and anxiety. That the same people that did all of these videos on me did a pile-on for a girl that was depressed and anxious.
Okay.
Let me
clarify what this was.
I don't want to talk about this. It's off topic. It's nothing to do with what we're here to say.
No,
could
it's a lie you told about me.
Could be completely a girl that was off her rocker and did whatever. I'm not even going to speculate. But the point is, if you don't like when people do that to you and don't understand all the facts, don't do it to them.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Hold on.
I have to clarify.
No, this is not what we're here for.
Guys,
this is not what we're here for.
Wait. You two can do a different.
Yeah, this is not. I don't ever want to do another live stream. It doesn't matter.
But truthfully, you guys can do a different live stream where you can hash out all the I said this, you said this was a lie, this was a confused statement, blah blah blah.
But
what we're trying to resolve
to respond to lies said about her supposedly.
Because this is what we're here for. That's what we're here for. You don't get to hijack. You don't get to hijack the show.
No, because it was.
Let her respond to that, and then I'm going to try to bring this thing home.
Girl's crying.
Let her respond to that.
Part of the entire back and forth that you and I had, which is part of the reason why we're here, because you and I had back and forth on the internet, was involving you attacking my character, saying I made an autistic girl cry. This girl came out and said that she was absolutely upset that you used that against her. You spread a rumor.
When did she say that?
Go on Twitter.
Okay, she personally inboxed me and told me that you were one of the worst people that she's ever met.
That can be the case.
Yeah, so don't use her as your hero because what you did to her, you made her cry.
That can be the case.
You made her cry.
She also tweeted.
Okay.
She also tweeted support.
Don't use her right now. That's messed up. It's messed up. Don't do it. Don't use her as your pawn. You already made her cry. Don't use her as your pawn.
Candace.
Don't use her as your pawn.
Guys, this is a sidebar.
Oh my
this is a
God.
sidebar.
It's a
Wait,
sidebar.
Using someone as your pawn that you made cry.
Hold on. You both can, however you want to deal with this portion of the conversation, you guys could both take that out of you guys can take that out of this room.
We can't end the stream with her saying that I'm not real responsible.
We're not ending it on that. What we're going to try to end this on is that I think
I have to respond to that though.
All right,
I have to.
All right, you can respond to that. Just let her respond.
No, because no. I don't like the psychology of this because what you did is you made a girl cry in a live stream with a bunch of 5 YouTubers, and now you're going to use that girl as a pawn. I won't do it because what I'm going to actually having to do is saying what the girl said to me in private, and I'm not comfortable doing it, so we need to move on entirely.
Then don't do that.
Defend myself. I cannot defend myself.
Dave, she cannot tell me what happened and what I did without me being able to respond. And you're going to let me respond.
It's a video.
You're going to let me respond.
People can watch what you did.
They absolutely can. I'm going to clarify exactly what the situation was. In June, at VidCon, there was someone who came into my private hotel room, illegally tapped me and my friends in the private hotel room. We had a really hard time getting her out. After that happened, I did a live stream with my friends who were in that hotel room.
This girl can't defend herself.
In that hotel room. And we didn't mention her name at all. We were keeping it completely anonymous. We were saying, wow, as friends, we're talking about this crazy thing that happened to us in a hotel in VidCon. Someone came in and illegally tapped us and wouldn't leave. So this person then, because she watches us, began tweeting to let her on and say her piece. She came on the live stream. It was an ugly moment. There was an argument. We talked about how, everything that she did, she was denying everything. It was an ugly moment. I privated the video. What happened was...
It was disgusting.
What happened was...
Let her go.
It's also disgusting to illegally tap someone and then... Anyways. So what happened was about 2 or 3 days ago, Candace began tweeting that basically a complete character attack saying, look who I'm going to be debating. This person made an autistic girl cry. She pulled that out of thin air. Maybe you were told. I
had a conversation with this girl and I can't defend myself. So this is BS
Candace,
right now.
Candace.
Okay, I hear you. The audience
And this
hears
girl
you.
cannot stand him. Literally cannot stand Blaire whatsoever.
She's not autistic, and even if she was autistic, she used that as a scapegoat.
You are double attacking this girl.
Guys,
double attacking this girl right now because you attacked her in a video, made her cry, and now you're using her to make yourself sound good.
Guys, we either
gotta move on because I can't defend myself. It's a private inbox. Can't defend myself.
Guys, we either stop. We can either stop now.
Don't use a girl that you made cry to make yourself look good right now because what you guys did was low based and disgusting.
She publicly
it was disgusting.
said.
She privated the video because it's one of the crassest moments.
It's guys, it's a moot point. This isn't why anyone's
It's not why we're here, and what you guys did really exemplifies who you guys are. It was disgusting.
It matters.
I don't care what somebody does to you. You don't do that.
All right, hold on.
She publicly said she doesn't have autism.
Okay, I
publicly said that.
I heard you say that.
You lied.
I didn't. I did not lie.
You lied. You lied. She does not have autism. You said she does. She lied.
You are
period.
Guys,
as if that matters. First off, I cannot defend myself because I had a private conversation with this girl. I'm not going to say anything.
Candace,
she hates you.
You can have.
She absolutely hates you and thinks you're a disgusting vile human being.
And she retweeted Tree of Logic's video on you. And she hates you as well.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
guys, I'm asking you both as if you've got a little bit of respect for me, we'll end this because I think we're just veering into the wrong way. But I think what I think if we can get this to anything that anyone's going to feel right about, I think basically you have said your piece. There will be a certain amount of people that are going to accept either what your word is or not. That is what it is. I think you have acknowledged a couple points that clarify this. And I don't think that discounts any of your other feelings. All the other fighting, trolling stuff, this is the internet has leaked into real life. That basically is what this is.
Calling it fighting and trolling when it's someone actually.
Why don't you let him talk?
Hang on.
You haven't let anyone talk during this whole time. Don't act like I'm the only one interrupting people. We're all doing it.
All right.
We're all doing it.
I think the point of doing this thing had very little to do with all of the little fighting and who blocked who and all of that stuff, right? The point of this was, what did Candace create? What were the intentions? And what came of it? And I can tell you this. I think I have a sense of what the truth is on that. That is my feeling. The other stuff related to this, I think the stuff maybe, Blaire, that you're responding to a little bit more, is just where I can't spend my life in that part of this. You know what I mean?
I don't want to either, but if someone says a lie, I have to say it was a lie.
And I think that's completely fair. We all have to defend ourselves in different ways. So look, I don't know that we can get anywhere further with this right now. So we can either do the Q&A. There's a bunch of questions that people want to do. If we can do it kind of respectfully and clearly and cleanly, or we can just let it be. But more than anything else, I really hope that the two of you realize that you guys, for all the raw feelings right now, you guys probably agree on 90% of stuff.
I look, that may be true in terms, I don't know what your political beliefs are, but in terms of how this was dealt with and how it could have been dealt with, I genuinely don't have respect for the situation whatsoever. And I don't think that, we're gonna probably be in the same social circles, which is fine with you and fine with me. This isn't what I want for my career, and I consider this will definitely be a low light.
Look, if
this is for me too, don't worry.
It will definitely be a low light.
Yes.
So I'm pretty disappointed as well in the way it was handled. I'm disappointed in the way that you attempted to damage control all of this involving telling lies about people. And that was my intention, to come in here and say, what about this lie? What about this lie? And that was the point. Clearly, I conceded that your website, while you never got around to actually doxing someone, even though that was the intent of the website, to spread people's names attached to their employers and their schools, you directly didn't end up having the... Right. You directly didn't end up having the capacity to actually do that because you didn't actually launch the website. However, the information was accessible by people who did dox those people, and all of those people, maybe not all, but I saw about 6 or 7 people whose personal addresses, workplaces, and telephone numbers were doxed. So my entire contention with this was that she created a resource for doxers.
Well, this a little bit reminds me of sort of the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I believe your intentions here. I don't attack people's intentions until I see it wrong. I believe your intentions were good. I believe the intentions that you started this thing with were good, and you realized that it was wrong. You are acknowledging that. What people do after that on the internet is sort of hard for any of us to
gauge.
Yeah,
it's crazy that I have to be responsible for what somebody who is. Really, for anybody to dox anybody, you have to be a pretty nasty human being.
All right. So first off, I'll throw it to you guys here. Do you want to do the Q&A if we can do it in a kind of calm way? I'm really okay either way. If you just feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I'm down for Q&A. Maybe Candace wants to go. I can do Q&A. I mean, I'm down. I'm sorry. I'm not even trying for the sake of disagreeing, but I really
Okay.
All right,
you know what?
This is so off brand for me to even be like across from someone.
All right, you know what? Here's what we're
invite me here.
Because I wanted to clarify that I didn't make a doxing website, and I was able.
You
to
could have
do
done
that.
this without me.
Okay.
No, you could have done this
All right,
without
look.
me.
You know what? At the end of the day,
So
everyone watch. At the end of the day, everyone watch it. Look, I feel like although this has been sort of nutty, I feel like I actually, whatever questions I had remaining in my mind, I do feel like have been answered for me. I hope that some other people will feel that too. But let's do this. We're going to do a 20-minute Q&A. We're going to do it because people have been in this thing asking. I don't want to be disrespectful of their time. All right, guys, give us literally 60 seconds just to refill some waters, and we're going to take a breath. And all right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We took a breath. We refilled Blaire's water. We're going to try to tone it down just for the Q&A. Everything being equal, as I said, I feel like I got what I needed. I know we're getting lost in a little bit of this stuff, and you guys can all continue to make videos or not make videos, and Candace can respond or not. Blaire can never talk about this again, or she can. Everyone can live their life the way we want. That's the beauty of freedom, okay? So we're going to do a couple questions here. The first few were comments, actually, on Super Chat. As a web developer, I've created front ends that allowed for rudimentary data collection, such as name and address, to build out all the layers and test the underlying code. That is a far cry from a fully functional website. So I think that's something that Candace has consistently been saying. Someone on Super Chat said, take control, Davey boy. It's a little late for that, okay. Someone on Super Chat said, tune in, drop out, same. I would never tell a client that such a site had a database because it gives them the impression that it is fully functional when it isn't. I would have called my demo version splash pages too. Okay, so this, all right. I'm just going through these in the order that they are. I did not pick this order here. Someone said, really great content. Thanks for exploring the misunderstanding. Red Pill Black was innocent the entire time, but Blaire White made some fair points. Even if the criticism was moot, still a fan of both of you. Okay, and I think you guys are actually going to have a lot of crossover in fans, which is the funny part here. Dave looks so happy to finally have a live debate on his show again. All right, I'll take it.
Was this the
first? Well, this is the first that went to this level, let's say. I've had some conversations that we did more debates about God and things like that. Rubin, please tell both girls to stop shouting, interrupting, and trying to one-up each other. Breathe, slow down, and be patient. You want to all take a breath together?
We
Little late.
I agree.
I will say,
okay,
we shouldn't have screamed. I will say that. It was dumb.
Yeah. Listen, I will gladly, if you guys will ever do it, have you both over for dinner at some other point when this is all, behind us, and we can talk the rest of it out over some booze. Somebody said the reason why people piled on Red Pill Black recently is due to algorithms, not a conspiracy. So that's interesting. I mean, we all sort of discussed that a little bit before, that it's hard to know how much of this are these people all coordinating? Is it
just
paid?
To be also say fair, like I am new to YouTube. Like, I think people don't understand that. Like, I don't understand what you might perceive to be so normal. How long have you been on YouTube?
About a year and 7 months.
Yeah, so for what you might perceive to be so normal because you're a more experienced YouTuber, like, I've only been on YouTube for 2-3 months. Like, it just seemed like crazy to me that 11 YouTubers would jump into a super chat. And that might be totally normal. It could be my own ignorance, but it just seemed very aggressive.
Yeah,
It's more of a
YouTube's
case
a real
of,
thing.
I think it's more of a case of like this was just something that was a hot topic at the time.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Someone
So-
here did ask a good question that I think a few people, that we didn't address, that I think a bunch of people have said. So he's saying that people were mad the site was never taken down. So why wasn't the splash, I meant to ask you this actually, why wasn't the splash page taken down until what, about 10 days ago? Or
Because I wanted to be really honest with people about my background, where I came from. I never thought like to delete my past. I always talked about it. I was very forward with it. This is something that came up. They didn't find this. Like I said, they didn't break the story. I had been talking about it in every single interview. And as I said, we didn't build the technology out. And I'm happy those web developers are saying that they would call it a splash page because that's what it was called. We didn't build the technology. So I thought no harm, no foul. It's not functioning. Leave it there. And it was going to naturally expire in February, which it is.
Okay, a few people said this, which is one of Blaire's main points. If you had just taken down the site, which you're addressing now, nobody would have cared. But the doubling down and calling people like Triologic, quote, funded made everything worse. So that's a point Blaire's made a couple
that
times.
Might be true.
And you have to provide evidence for that kind of thing. You can't just say that.
I want someone to look at me the way Dave Rubin's looking at his assortment of whiskey right now. It's all right there. There's a lot of good stuff over
I
there.
thought it was me you were looking at.
I could have just
thought it
actually
was me.
stepped off camera and started drinking.
No one would have cared. No one would have noticed.
That would have been so funny.
Okay. Candace, your site is well-intentioned as it is, but has tremendous potential of abuse. You're acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Why do you trust yourself, or anyone else for that matter, with that kind of power?
By the way, I don't, like I said,
don't.
I've said 1,000 times, totally naive, stepped into an internet culture that I wanted nothing to do with, and it had nothing to do with politics. It just was meant to be something, I've said often, it was something that was intended that was for good, and it would have very quickly been used for evil.
Yeah.
And I never
all
argued.
right, here's one that a couple people have also addressed, sort of, and I think Blaire kind of hit this. Candace, why are you calling YouTubers with more subs than you bottom feeders and basement dwellers? It was not jealousy, it was a critique.
Listen, if you think a critique to me is doing one video that's interactive, when you do 5 videos and you're talking about somebody's looks, okay, and they talked about everything, they every layer of me, like the videos that I do, they don't even like my content, all of this stuff. If it was just a critique, fine. They went into full insult, and to me, that's a bottom-feeding tactic. That's very high school and it's very juvenile. If they had stuck to the facts, they would have had much more respect, but they didn't.
Okay. Andy Worski made cogent arguments about what the problem was, and you have yet to address them. Lots of people just want an apology. Personally, I want to forgive you. However, your adversarial stance makes that difficult. So you did sort of say that you don't want to apologize because your intentions were not...
No, it's not even that. It's just that, as we've already said, I didn't build something that could be that could dox people. And I was going to finish my statement before. If those people got doxxed, of course, like, and if their lives, I don't think they were, because it's been a year, we would have heard about it. If their lives were ruined because their address was put on the deep web of Kiwi Farms, of course I'm sorry that happened as a result of something that I was building and was never launched because for some reason people were able to access it on the back end. Like, of course I'm sorry, but I was being asked to apologize for doxing people and I never did it. So of course I'm going to double down and say, no, I'm not apologizing for that because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Can I just say that Kiwi Farms is objectively not considered deep web.
Okay, so
Deep
I
web is
do.
very specific.
I think this may be a little bit of one of the definition things. So I did see a few. I don't know. I actually don't know. But I did see a few comments that a bunch of people are saying Kiwi Farms is not deep web because it's publicly accessible. So,
I didn't know that.
Deep web is like you have to use some sort of program to hide your IP and like go really deep. That's I
didn't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to say other than I didn't know.
Okay.
I can't pretend that I know things I don't.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so the problem is gathering information in one place. Organization of this data make it a more pointed tool for a bad actor to use. So this is absolutely what your point was. It's not okay to say it's completely your fault, but you can say putting the information under one roof is not the same as getting it off on Facebook. So that's an interesting distinction.
Right,
they could have done this on Facebook.
The way it was organized, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is the information to go, so they're going to go there first. I totally understand that. As I said, it never launched, and I don't know how many times I can say that it hasn't launched. I get this argument of if, but I don't live in a world of ifs. I didn't launch it. I dropped the project. I realized it could be used for evil.
Okay.
You know?
Like Lacey, so I think they're talking about Lacey Green. Like Lacey, who was skeptical at first but seems okay, and others who, quote, changed sides, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and let them prove they've changed. The dangers of the project were that big. I'm not totally sure I followed all that. Blaire, are you going to do another chat with Theron soon, maybe about free speech? And have either of you seen Ferguson the play?
I haven't, and I should. do another stream with Theron.
Okay.
She's cool.
All right, let's see. Oh, it's not. It's Taryn, right?
Theron.
It's Taryn?
Yeah.
All right, okay. All right. There's a couple other things here, but I think...
Theron Meyer reached out to me. She sent me an email,
Yeah?
actually, yeah.
All right, listen. I don't know that we got exactly what we wanted to get out of this, but I don't know that that's actually possible in these, when the way these things go. So you both have ally in me, and none of us are perfect, and I hope we got somewhere with this thing. So I hope that you guys feel like we got somewhere with this thing. What are the chances the internet just stops with this right now? That's how the internet behaves, right?
Yeah, things blow over. And that was my whole thing. It was like, I didn't understand why it was like drawn out. If like all this was so easily cleared up, why she couldn't have made, I mean, honestly, if it was me, and again, I'm not you, but if it was me and there was all these lies about me or rumors about me, the first thing I would have done is made a video on my channel and said, this isn't true, this isn't true, this isn't true. But instead, you blocked everyone asking questions, you blocked all criticism, and you drew it out until this day on the Rubin report, which honestly, I know it probably seems like, oh, we'll get, it'll be heard more because of the Rubin report, but in reality, people who are wondering about this will go directly to your channel. So, I don't know, that would just be I'm not trying to be condescending, that would be my advice. If anything ever happens like this, you should probably just do it on your channel.
Right, I genuinely did not think that this was going to be this blown out of proportion, especially for something that never launched, A. And B, I did not feel that, I don't like that you keep saying that you should have responded to the questions. The videos were already made. That's a huge insult to go out and make videos about someone before you contact them. I didn't cut you off. Please don't cut me off. Okay? To make videos about someone without contacting them, I just think it's wrong. And I am not going to, as I said, the expression negotiate with terrorists and say this is what you have to do now to make amends because we made a bunch of videos about you. I didn't like it. I thought it was nasty. And I dealt with it as I dealt with it.
It's interesting. It's interesting to me as the three of us do put videos up on YouTube for whatever we consider ourselves. You also do learn about this in different ways. A year ago, if people had been attacking me the way they attack me now, I might have fought more. I now see it as an exercise in futility, which I think is sort of where you're at, and perhaps your style would be to attack them back more, and plenty of people do that. And
just different styles, different approaches.
Different styles. I just think it would have been a lot more.
That's fine.
Productive.
If that's what you think, that's absolutely fine.
All right. Well, I hope you guys got something out of this, and the conversation obviously is going to continue. I'm going to try to convince them both to have a drink with me right now, and we shall
to drink right now.
See how that goes. You both didn't exactly say no with those looks.
Day drinking.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.